I think bringing scientists together from different countries is hugely important, because we know that the best ideas come out when people are challenged by different ways of thinking. And if you have a room full of Cambridge graduates who have all done the same degree course, and that they will have a way of thinking, and if you add to them people from other countries who've been educated in different ways, who've had different life experiences, but may have studied the same subject, we know that those collaborations will bring more innovative and more creative results. So we know that science progresses faster and does more exciting things if we bring people together. We also know that in companies, thinking gets very stovepiped. And I love the story from GE Medical, where they developed huge bits of really expensive hospital imaging equipment for patients. And when they worked with their colleagues in India and in those days, other developing countries, these colleagues said, well, the hospitals here can't afford to buy these, your multi-100,000 worth of equipment, but let us re-engineer it in India with this attitude of it has to be affordable here. And what they ended up producing was equipment that had less functionality, but did the same thing, basically. So it didn't have all the bells and whistles. And what that generated for GE was both a product they could sell in India, but also a product you could sell to GP surgeries in a country like the UK. So, a solution that wasn't going to come from GE in the UK or GE in the United States, because everybody thinks big hospital equipment, hundreds of thousands of pounds, it'll do everything, it's very exciting. But if you say, we can only afford $1, how can we solve this problem with a bit of kit that might cost a few £100 or a few $100, you get something brilliant, which is a new product that helps all sorts of people. So that kind of collaboration of bringing together ideas, understanding the different environments people come from and the different solutions that work in different places, doesn't just solve first world problems, doesn't just solve developing world problems, it brings new, fresh insight into solutions of developing world problems, of rich world problems. And that's brilliant, because I think sometimes we don't respect enough, sitting in well-equipped laboratories in the UK and the US, etc. We don't respect enough colleagues who work in environments that are very different, where they don't have all the same advantages.
Are there any challenges in trying to create these interactions between peoples?
There are plenty of challenges. I mean, they're the basic management challenges that you need to learn about, which is managing conflict positively and creatively. I mean, not managing people beating each other up, but managing intellectual challenge. And I think one of the things you see in any organisation quite often with young managers is that they have a tendency to appoint people to their teams who are like them, because those people are easy to manage. They understand those people, they share interests with those people, they share cultural background history with those people. They make very cohesive and friendly teams to work in, but they don't make very creative teams. So teaching people to value intellectual challenge and not to take it personally, I think is one of the hardest things. I mean, it's one of the hardest things when you're a new PhD student and you think you've had a great idea and one of your colleagues or your supervisor criticises it. It's one of the hardest things is to say, well, as a supervisor, is to think about how do you criticise it constructively, and as the PhD student to think, this isn't an attack on me, this is part of my learning process. I will only learn by finding out that I didn't get it right or finding out that there was a better way to do it. So I need to listen and not kind of close down and feel got at. And when you're dealing with groups who bring different ideas, different ways of doing things, different cultures together, you've got that all the time. And learning to be a facilitator or a leader of a group like that, I think is very, very challenging.
And do you think that Shaping Horizons can contribute to these collaborations, to probably preventing some of these challenges?
Well, I'm sure in raising awareness that these are important issues, and raising awareness of, actually it's about respecting people as human beings and respecting their experience and respecting experiences that may be different, very different from yours. And I think doing more to teach us to be inquisitive in a really positive way about people's different experiences and backgrounds, and not to assume they've all done things the same way we've done them. Actually, just encouraging people to get to know people better, to get to understand people better.
Okay, thank you.